Hey guys, my name is Christian Batuli. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If it's your first time coming across this channel, welcome to the family. Glad to have you here. Hope you find our content valuable. And if you happen to do, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button to stay alert on the next time we drop new content. With that being said, let's jump into it. All right, guys. So today I wanted to do something different. I wanted to try something new. I wanted to start a 10-part video series talking about fears. Obviously, I know there are countless phobias out there and fears that people deal with, but I only chose to talk about 10 fears that I think are important. And one of the reasons why I also choose to talk about these particular 10 fears is because it's personal, it hits close to home. Until this day, I'm still struggling with some of the fears that I'm going to talk about. Now, I know I'm not the only one, right, in the world. So I wanted to come out here and share it with you guys. Yeah, so just moving forward, each video, up to 10 videos, I'm going to talk about each fear because whether we like it or not, fears is part of us. It's innate. And long as there continues to be life on earth, whether it's under the sea, up in the sky, or on land, fear will continue to exist. So it's probably better to not only talk about it, but to learn about it and also to know how to deal with fear, right? Just like people have different tools to deal with anxiety, addiction, and stuff like that. So I know I went off the track a little bit. Let's not waste any more time. Let's start. All right. So starting with fear number one, we're going to talk about the fear of failure. And just to give you guys a little foundation, a little starting block, I think it's going to help you guys to be able to put the picture together. Three things you need to keep in mind. You need to understand the three roles that fear play into our life. Number one, fear can help us keep us safe. Now, fear can protect you and alert you from danger, make you aware of danger. Number two, fear can also inspire us to make progress, to want to better ourselves, to want to improve. I couldn't agree more with this one because I know personally in the past, um, when I was dealing with certain fears, like some of those fears like scared me so much to the point where I was like, I gotta do something different. I gotta make sure that I get my stuff together because this is no way of living. I'm slacking. All my friends are doing better than me, or my friends are doing this, or this and this and that, right? I should not be here. I'm not happy with my job, and nothing's gonna change unless I do something about it, right? So I definitely agree with number two, the role number two, because fear can make you wanna do better, right? It can scare you to wanna step up. And then number three, this one is on the negative side. Fear can also keep us stagnant, right? It can also hold us back. So I'm going to focus on number three um, throughout this series. What we can do to ready ourselves when that time comes when we have to deal with fear. So fear number one, it is the fear of failure. Now, I can't even tell you how many times in the past how dealing with this fear had affected me, right? So bad, so much to the point where I was afraid to go after the things that I really wanted. And I was so afraid to be a failure, right? Because the one thing about this fear is that it can mess with your mind. Look at it this way: you can be well prepared, well qualified, do the little things right, do everything that you need to do to be ready to give yourself the best chance, right, to succeed and still fail. To give you guys an example, this happens with boxers all the time. A boxer can go into a hard training camp getting ready for a fight, right? They can do the right thing. They can work hard every single day, get outside every morning, putting out road work, running in the gym, right? Have a solid team, have an amazing coach, have a good game plan. Then comes fight night, right? One false move during the exchange, they get caught. He or she, meaning the boxer, gets caught and then lights out. So that means all those 8 weeks of training camp, of working hard and maybe not seeing your family, and then you go fight, and then all that just kind of go for nothing. And I know that's not the best way to look at it, but it does happen. Success is not guaranteed. I'll give you guys another example. Now, let's just say, right, there was a humble, loyal worker out there working for some company that don't value them. Right. There are a lot of them out there, right? So I'm just using this as an example. Let's just say this worker does everything by the book, right? Never late, been working there for more than 10 plus years, right? Knows the company inside and out, vastly experienced, right? And to the point where even people in the company's co-workers are on board for him to get a promotion because there was a spot perhaps open for a promotion. Let's just say this guy totally happy because he feel like he did everything. Experience, he got that. He knows the company, right? He knows how everything works. Loyal worker, shows on time, never late. Right. So he's excited he's gonna get the job, he's gonna get this promotion. Then all of a sudden, the company decided to go with somebody else different, perhaps somebody younger, right? Perhaps someone who just got out of college. I don't know. They just decided to go with somebody else different. And the sad thing is, that person that the company decided to hire instead of the loyal worker might be terrible at their job, may lack experience, right? May not be as skilled as the loyal worker, but that happens, right? It happens every single day. People get overlooked, right? You can do everything right by the book and still fail. But does not mean that you shouldn't try your best. You shouldn't try to give yourself the best chance to win. No, of course you should always do your best, no matter what. No matter what, you should always do your best because by you doing your best, you're increasing your chance of winning, of reaching, of attaining on success. But as long as you also know there's always that risk of it not working out. Because the thing is, every time you're trying to achieve something, every time you're trying to go for, I don't know, your goals, your dream, your ambitions, whatever that might be, right? Every time you're paying your dues, there's always going to be an external forces, an external energy that can go against you, right? When you're going for that success, you want to be somebody, there's always going to be an external forces and energy and factors that will go against you. Like, um, I don't know, people's attitude. Maybe the person that was going to give you that opportunity, I don't know, their attitude changes in opinion. Maybe their opinion of you changes in priority, changes in environment. So all those things you can't control, right? So you can only do what you can do, what you can control, which is your effort, your commitment, that strong mentality to not give up no matter what. To know that clearly, I'm going to try my best to, be somebody, to become a success, but I also know I'm not a fool. This thing may not work out, and I'm okay with it. See, and I've struggled with it for the longest time when I was younger because I was afraid to try anything. Because of that, I'm like, dude, you can all these things could be for nothing. So why work hard when I know it can all be for nothing, right? And also it didn't help because going to high school, I have a funny story to tell you guys. Like going in high school, I was macking on this girl, right? Macking on her, did everything by the book, bro. Like took her out, was a gentleman, walked her to class, right? Asked her on a date, opened doors for her. I'm a gentleman. Does that make me soft? No. I know when I need to be a beast. I know when I need to be assertive. But when I'm talking to, someone that I'm interested in, right, romantically, of course I'm gonna go out of my way to show them, like, hey, like, I already treat you like a queen. But anyway, long story short, after doing all that, there was this guy, right? He was maybe 1 year older than me. I was a sophomore. He was a junior. I don't know. Like this guy was a little bit taller than me. I'll be honest, but good looking, nah. And I know I'm not the prettiest guy out there, but this guy was not good looking. Well, let's just say we're even, right? But anyway, this guy was a douche. He had this reputation of treating women terribly. But guess what? He ended up pulling that girl. And I'm just like, yo, Do I need to go talk to my mom and dad? Did they like teach me the wrong stuff? Because I did everything by the book, but it still didn't go my way, right? But does that mean I should change my ways? I should not be a gentleman. There's a difference between being a simp and a gentleman, right? A lot of people nowadays they confuse being a gentleman sometimes with being a simp, right? But so that's what I'm talking about, how the fear of failure messes with my psyche, right? But it still does not mean that you should give up. It still does not mean that you shouldn't try. Even if you know things may not go your way, you still got to try. And besides, if we knew every time we did something a certain way guaranteed us success 100% of the time, then life will be dull and boring. Be honest. The one thing that makes success taste sweeter than honey is the fact that it's unpredictable, it's uncertain. You can't control it. No matter what you do, it's unpredictable. And to be honest, the older I'm starting to get, the more I'm starting to realize that people aren't afraid to fail. People aren't afraid, to try something. Because if that was the case, then our world, our society, our way of life will not evolve to what it is now. Our ancestors had to try. There was a bunch of trials and error. Now look at us in 2024. Like we, as far as technology, we're way better than we were 20 years ago. As far as medicine, way better. As far as science, way better, right? So we're not afraid to try something because we know failing is part of the process. So people are not afraid to fail. People are not afraid to try. People are afraid of the consequences associated with failing. Let me say that one more time. People are not afraid to fail or to try. They are afraid of the consequences associated with failure. To give you guys an example, I'm going to use my personal life, all right? In the past, I didn't want to try anything because I don't know, but when I was younger, till this day, obviously, I've always looked up to my dad, right? Just like every kid does, especially if your dad is in your life, right? I was lucky. I was one of those fortunate kids. I've always looked up to my dad, and I've never, ever wanted to let him down. So there were times where I was afraid to try something because if I didn't succeed, I'm like, man, what is daddy's going to think of me, right? What is my friends going to think of me? And if your goals are big enough, I'm pretty sure your community will be invested into your success. Like if you look at draft night, all those kids, right, with their families, whether it's football or basketball, I'm pretty sure their whole community, where they're from, knows that this kid has the potential to go pro because they were probably supporting him when he was in college. And if he was that good enough, they probably knew about him in high school. But then imagine those kids not getting picked up on a draft night, which happens all the time. So that alone can create the fear of failure because, like, man, it's okay if I fail, but if I let my community down, I let my friends down, I let my parents down. And some of us, me, I was afraid to fail simply because I was afraid people would start to view me as a failure. So it just shows that people are afraid of the consequences that comes with failing. So hopefully some of the examples that I provided can kind of make my point. But the one thing I would say about that is that anytime you decide to do something for yourself, going for your dreams and your passion, just always remember the only reason that you need to have for doing it, for chasing your goals and dreams, is because you want to do it. And do it because you want to, because it brings you happiness. Don't do it because of your parents. Don't do it because of your friends. Don't do it because of your family. Don't do it because of the girl you're trying to impress. Do it because of yourself. Because when you have a dream and a goal and you're trying to reach success, more often than not, people will laugh at you. They always do. They will laugh at you They will say things like, "Oh, I don't think he can do it. I don't think he's smart enough." They will say all the negative things that you can possibly think of until when you reach success, then that's when all the good stuff will come in. So that's when all the good stuff will be said. But in the meantime, do it for you because the people that love you and support you will be there for you no matter what. Whether you fail or whether you win, they'll be there to support you. Again, do you. Make yourself happy, man. Life is too short. And if you fail, so what? Try again. Try again. But do not have fear of failure because it's not the fear of failure that you have, but it's the fear of the consequences that comes with failing. All right, guys, that's it for me today. Part two. See you guys there. Ciao.